morning, all entrepreneurs. Dun, 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 dun. Exporting your goods just got a little cheaper. Say bye-bye to the $3,000 customs administrative fee, CAF, for exports less than $500. State Minister for Industry, Investment and Commerce, Dr. Norman Dunn, is back to tell us how it will affect you and your business. I'm Kalila Reynolds, and it's time for another episode of Money Moves, JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Welcome back, Minister Dunn. Thanks for coming back.
My pleasure.
All right, so the last time you were with us, we spoke about this $5 billion that's allocated to small businesses, various projects that are being implemented, grants, loans, what have you. And this actually comes under the SERVE program, doesn't it?
That's correct. I mean, it's an innovative program that has been unfolded during the budget presentation, as you saw. And we're happy that a section of that program, a component of the program, was directly reserved for the MSME sector. And we did mention last week that $5 billion was allocated to the MSME sector.
There's also another really important one. And if you guys watched Money Mondays a few weeks ago, you would have seen me really bigging up the move to abolish the customs administrative fee, the CAF, for goods under $500 that are going out, that are being exported permanently, they're not coming back into Jamaica. Why is this such a big deal?
Let me tell you, again, this shows how this government operates. I mean, this is something, as the Minister of Finance said, is relegated to the dustbin. It was a punitive tax, we believe, that was imposed on exporters and in particular the MSMEs. So let me give an example. So we have a product called Shactilo Air Moisturizer that's developed by Kalila, right? And the value of it is $1,500. So you want it Jamaican dollars. So you want to export it to somebody. You want to develop your hair product in such a way that it becomes a large category of product. The CAF was levied at $3,000. So automatically, that product that you would develop for $1,500 that you thought was very competitive on the market now has this huge tax attached to it of $3,000, and the product now becomes $4,000. And therefore, you just do not have the opportunity to compete well. So by removing this...
Outside of Jamaica.
Outside of Jamaica. So by removing this, you have given a huge lease on life of the MSME sector and the persons who want to export. And therefore, we believe this is a glorious opportunity for a number of MSMEs who have great products. If you look into pharmacies and the supermarket, just look on the shelves, and you see the quality of products that are being developed here in Jamaica now. We have a great opportunity to compete with the world.
And why I thought this was so important too, is especially at a time like now when we're dealing with COVID, fallout in tourism, we need to be focusing on exports in order to earn those US dollars.
And not an export, I mean, but using specifically also our indigenous raw material that we can in fact create greater value added with what we have here locally.
Now, during the budget debates that ended recently, I heard the opposition saying or arguing that the CAF should have been abolished entirely. So not just for goods under $500 US. So why didn't you go that route?
Life is so funny. I mean, they're the ones who instituted this abominable tax. And they are now saying that it should what? Be removed totally. Well, you see, we have to be responsible as well. And responsible meaning that it's a pandemic, as you know, and therefore we have to balance all the pieces because revenue is still important. The government, the only way government can provide services is from the revenue they collect. And therefore, what we're trying to do is protect the revenue as much as possible, but at least in the same breath, give enough opportunity for persons to export. By giving up just this one tax up to $500, the government is foregoing almost $70 million in taxes.
That's not a whole lot of money for a
Not
government.
a whole lot of money, but at the same time, it's still revenue that you're giving up that we could use for purchasing some more vaccines, etc., etc.
So what's the expected impact of this? So are there projections that exports are going to increase by X amount because of the removal?
Well, what we are looking at is, and from the Ministry of Investment, Industry, Investment and Commerce, our MSME division is in fact ramping up our communication to this sector to say that here is a great opportunity. This ministry is an enabler, we're a facilitator, and therefore we want to ensure that we are enabling the MSME sector to benefit from this, and we're going to communicate it as best as possible to say that here exists an avenue for you to grow and develop, and that is what we're going to do.
Well, I look forward to next year's budget when we will be able to see those actual numbers as to what the impact has been.
And I'm sure it will be there.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dunn.
You're welcome.
And here's a recap of Minister Dunn's main points. The Customs Administration fee, CAF, represented an additional cost to exporting. Abolishing the CAF for exports worth $500 or less will give businesses the opportunity to compete outside Jamaica. According to Minister Dunn, the fee cannot be removed entirely as yet, since the government must maintain a balance between revenue and opportunities. The removal of the CAF took effect on April 1. That's it for this episode of Money Moves JA, brought to you in partnership with Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service, giving you the tools to grow your business. Visit their website at eximbankja.com and visit my website, KalilaReynolds.com, for a summary of this episode. You can click the link in the description box below. I'm Kalila Reynolds. Until next time.